very warm welcome to you indeed to the Pala Vesuvio main hall in the Ponticelli quarter of Napoli. And it is very much the homecoming of the Universiade. It was in 1959 in the city of Turin that the games began, games designed to bring together university students that excel academically and in the sporting spheres from across the world, bring them together in pursuit of excellence and to create the leaders of tomorrow. 60 years later, and it is the city of Naples, the capital of Campania, that has been entrusted with the responsibility of hosting the 30th edition of this bringing together of that which is academic and that which is sporting. And this is what is sporting here in the Pala Vesuvio. We have apparatus final action in artistic gymnastics, starting with a men's vault competition. 5 events to come in this session of around about 3 hours of gymnastics. And it's the final day of artistic gymnastics. Wataru Tanegawa is the top qualifier in this particular event. He will go 4th in the running order. Kim Han-sol, the 2nd strongest, will go 2nd, and Marco Walter, the 3rd strongest, he'll be the 2nd gymnast up. Earlier on, in the first session of the day, in the men's floor exercise, Kirill Prokopiev took the gold. In the pommel horse, Li Chikai, and on the still rings, Artur Avetisian. The women's vault was won by Marina Nekrasova, and the uneven bars by Hitomi Harakeda, the latter taking her 3rd gold medal of these games. A sensational individual display by the Japanese gymnast who took her 1st gold in the team competition and her 2nd in the individual all-around event. So all of that means that Japan have secured 5 gold medals so far in the programme. The Russian Federation 1, Chinese Taipei 1, Armenia 1 and Azerbaijan 1. Will any of those nations add to their tally? Will we see some new nations in the central position on the podium? All of this fun to come in the next little while here in the Pala Vesuvio, and it's a great pleasure to have your company for this final session of artistic gymnastics at Napoli 2019. Ollie Hogben here in the Pala Vesuvio. I'm looking forward to taking you through this action. It's about time to welcome the gymnasts out onto the field of play.
This afternoon you can look forward to the 2nd session of the apparatus final men and women artistic
enthusiastic crowd have been gathered to enjoy all of this action. They've been supporting obviously the local gymnasts. And we will have more action from them, with Lara Mori, for example, participating in the balance beam competition in just a moment. But first of all, attention on the men's vault competition. So here they come, the 8 competitors who've made it into the final of the men's vault competition here at Napoli 2019. Leading the way is the Australian gymnast Heath Thorpe, the 8th strongest in qualification. Quite spectacular few days of competition for the Japanese national team.
Apparatus final vault. Heath Thorpe, Australia.
Heath Thorpe, the 8th strongest in qualification.
Marco Walter, Switzerland.
Marco Walter, the 3rd best. Luis Porto of Brazil was introduced there. He was the 6th strongest. The top qualifier, Wataru Tanegawa. Belarus's Igor Sharamkov, 4th strongest in qualification. Fabian de Luna Hernandez of Mexico, the 5th strongest in qualifying. Kim Han-sol, the 2nd strongest qualifier from the Republic of Korea. Robert Guzan of Romania, the 7th best in the qualification process. And so now a little warm-up time for the athletes. Getting there nice and quickly to make full use of the warm-up opportunity. They will warm up in the competition order, which is why the 18-year-old Australian Heath Thorpe is first to take off. And those of you who are new to gymnastics, now perhaps an opportune moment to talk about what you're going to see, or what you should be expecting to see in this vault competition. The gymnasts will undertake 2 vaults. They have to be from different vaulting families, that is to say different entries for the vault, different styles in essence, is what that's all about, without getting overly technical about exactly what the different vaulting families are. But the essence is each vault is assigned a difficulty score, so we'll know ahead of the vault what it is they're attempting. And that's not to say they'll be given that difficulty score. Gymnasts can say, I'm going for a 5.2 difficulty, but not perhaps complete everything in that vault, and therefore the difficulty judges might only score it as a 5 or a 4.8 or something like that. Meanwhile, a different group of judges will assess the execution, and from a vaulting point of view, they're looking for amplitude in the vault, a really good push away off the vaulting table, so that the gymnast maintains a strong centre line, as demonstrated there by Luis Porto. They get height, but they also get distance. We're not looking for a gymnast to go too horizontal or too vertical in the vault, but get a nice diagonal line of exit away from the table. There's a super demonstration of it right there from Wataru Tanigawa, as you'd expect from the top qualifier. And the landing will be assessed. The gymnast takes paces on the landing. They'll all carry little deductions. Should they step out of those tram lines, penalties will be applied. It's not a huge penalty, just a 0.1 if you land in and step out. If you actually land out, then significantly worse, as is failing to land feet first at all. That results in the vault not being credited. Gymnast has got to actually come down with the feet first. And if they should land sitting or put the hands down, then they'll lose a full mark from their execution score. In terms of the apex of the vault, tidy form, that the legs stay together when they're supposed to be together. If the gymnast is trying to bring the knees in a tuck position, they've really got to get those knees up into the chest. All the basics, I suppose, of gymnastics, I'm sure many of you are very familiar with. You might well be a gymnast yourself and know all too well exactly what it is that I'm talking about. And so that is what is to come, and he will be the first to go. Now, Heath Thorpe doesn't have hugely high difficulty in terms of all of the competitors. His difficulty aggregate is the lowest, but his execution was extremely sharp in qualification. Very technically precise vaulting. Real contrast in terms of the difficulties with the gymnast from the Republic of Korea, Kim Han-sol. He started in qualification with a 5.6 difficulty vault. Got a few 5.6 difficulties coming up. So a lot of what we'll be looking at in this vaulting final is making little assessments of the difference between the difficulty tariffs of the gymnasts. And those who have got a lower difficulty, well, they're heavily reliant on the execution value. That all being explained, it's time to get underway. Robert Guzan wishes best of luck to the first competitor to go in this vault competition.
Australia, Heath Thorpe.
So it is time to begin this men's vault final. Heath Thorpe, the 18-year-old from Australia, to begin the 8th strongest in qualification. Took a bronze medal in the vault at the Australian Championships a couple of months ago. That is really nice execution from Heaththorpe. Great start. Well, it's meant the world to him to be here. He's absolutely ecstatic at having been selected for the national team for this competition. Came into this day of finals being quite clear that he wasn't too happy with his overall performance so far. He's very exacting of himself, which is an estimable quality in a young gymnast. But he's really come out with determination and produced a lovely display there. A little bit of drift to the side, not a huge amount. It's certainly comparable to his vault in qualification, if not stronger. It is stronger. 14.15, just by half a tenth.
Second vault.
But a very good first vault. And he's a hugely popular young gymnast. He's very articulate, great advocate for the academic world as well. He's very interested in the psychology behind sport and athletic competition. And he's done himself proud indeed with this display. Came out to this competition with his teammate and best friend Hudson Irwin. They and another Australian gymnast all share a flat together. And the excitement that they felt at being part of the national squad together, very clear. We'll take a 0.1 penalty in that vault. Wasn't perhaps the truest of connections off the springboard, and that's why he had that little bit of a drift to the side again, slightly more of a lilt on this occasion. But nonetheless, really good display. 13.8 is the total score for Heaththorpe. That is as he performed in qualification. Now in a supreme example of nominative determinism, here is the impressive vaulter, Marco Walter from Switzerland.
First vault.
Third strongest in qualification. Here he goes. That was nicely done. Got a lot of height on the vault. Really did push up high into the air. 5.2 is his most difficult. Perhaps he does rather sacrifice the distance a touch. Nonetheless, his form is very nice in mid-air. Keeps the feet together in the twist position. And he scores a 14.4, which is 1/10 down from the mark he was awarded in qualification. Just the execution that's changed by a 10th, everything else is the same. Second vault. That time he really travelled, and I think he's hurt himself, unfortunately. Oh gosh, really did let out a roar as he landed that. Oh, goodness me. And poor Marco Walter has had a nasty landing coming out of that. reacted immediately. Swiss team watching on concerned. He's getting really good medical attention straight away. And very sensible, Marco Volta. He hasn't tried to move too much. As soon as he landed, just rolled to the side, keeping himself nice and stationary. Well, if you're just joining the action, you arrive at a point where Marco Volta of Switzerland is receiving medical treatment just for taking a slightly difficult landing in his second vault. He reacted immediately in pain. Score comes and it's not of any great consequence. What matters is the well-being of Marco Volta. We do sincerely hope that all is well for this very experienced gymnast. Competing in his second Universiade. It was very clear from the moment that he landed that he was in some pain. He felt it and did rather call out. Tricky to be part of the team in this situation. They'll all want to know how he's doing, but he's just having quite a calm conversation with the medical staff. Making sure that their assessment is thorough and accurate. Luis Porto will just keep all of this out of his head for the time being. A little bit of cold compress being applied to the ankle of Volta. That's what he seemed to do, was land quite heavily with that foot rather bent underneath him. I think at the moment just some discussion necessary about the most sensible way to help Marco Volta remove himself from the field of play and to continue the treatment and the assessment. It's always an alarming sight when you're watching as a viewer and seeing a scene like this, but it's always worth stating that good medical practitioners, good physiotherapists, good doctors will keep the injured party in a stable, stationary position for as long as possible before making a decision about how to remove them from the field of play, just especially with something like an ankle injury, a foot injury. They won't want to be moving him needlessly without knowing what's the best way for him to leave the field of play. Obviously some very concerned friends and family watching on. That's a indescribably difficult position to be in. He's being well looked after, though, down on the competition floor. Decision evidently being taken to ensure no further stress is put on the injured foot or ankle, as it may be, of Marco Volta, and just to allow him to have a comfortable exit from the field of play. He's a very popular gymnast. He's been really well supported. You can see the regard with which he's held him by his teammates. Remarkably tough people, gymnasts. So Marco Volta has been safely positioned and looked after by the medical team, and will be taken away for further assessment to see just the nature of that foot or ankle injury that he suffered. And he's getting a lovely reception from the fans here in the Palo Vesuvio. I must say, a job really well done by the medical team as well, because they came in active really quickly. And Marco Volta himself has been exceptionally calm about the whole situation, and that is of great tribute to him as an athlete as well. As has he. Luis Porto had a long waiting time. He's kept himself to himself and has just been focused on the job at hand.
Brazil, Luis Porto.
Competition continues in the men's vault. Luis Porto of Brazil, the next competitor to go. And that was a big, powerful vault from Porto. The 2-year-old is from Porto Alegre in the Rio Grande do Sul, right in the far south of Brazil. He was 4th on vault in the South American Championships of last year. Does get really high in that vault. Only time we've seen him in World Cup competition was a vault final appearance in Australia last year. .4 is the score there for Luis Porto. So a little bit of an advancement from his first vault in qualifying by half a tenth. This is not as difficult a vault if he attempts the same things he did in qualifying. It's very stable indeed. Oh, super. You know what, I think he's a touch pleased with that one. Very nicely executed. He competes for Grêmio Náutico União in Porto Alegre under Leonardo Finco, head coach there. And this was well stabilised indeed. It's the reaction of a gymnast who knows he's done as much as he can to put himself into contention. Not attempting excess difficulty. Getting good, precise execution on the vault. And where he's from, Porto Alegre, means joyful harbour. And certainly be harbouring feelings of joy as that score comes in. So Porto has gone into the lead with a 14.35. For how much time will he lead? Because here is the top qualifier, Wataru Tanigawa of Japan, team gold medalist. 14.7 was his qualification score. Oh, he really did go for such a big vault. Could hear the gasp of the crowd as he went for a 5.6 difficulty. In fact, going for a 6 difficulty, excuse me, it was a 5.6 he went for in qualification. Yes, that was a more complicated display. Just didn't get that rotated correctly. Want to come back to the performance of Luis Porto for a moment. That second vault of Porto had a 9.5 execution score. Isn't that something? Goodness me, 9.5 execution. 13.9 for the first vault from Wataru Tanigawa. And this was a sensational vault in qualifying. 15 he got for this. And he'll certainly score highly for it again. It's going to be quite a battle for Tanigawa, the top qualifier, to retain that position. Let's have a little bit more of a step back on this occasion. What a great gymnast. It's good that we're seeing more of Tanigawa in these apparatus finals after he missed out on the all-around competition. And he missed out by being the third strongest. It's just that there happened to be two Japanese gymnasts above him. 14.275. Almost, but still it is Porto in the lead. He's dropped quite a bit, courtesy of that first vault from qualification, Tanigawa. Igor Sharamkov of Belarus. He's been a very busy gymnast of late. Competed at the European Games in Minsk. Also competed in the European Championships in Poland. Oh, I hope he's okay there. Just lifted his left leg a touch, but I think it was just a stabilisation rather than feeling any pain. Really did attack that vault well. Yes, it was just a little step back for stability. He was the fourth best in qualification. This is going to get a very good execution score. At a 9.1 for the execution for this vault in qualification. Now, that may have been better, you know. Depends how much they think about that step back. There's very little other than that to have any form of issue with. Oh, it's a very good execution score.
Second vault.
Igor Sharamkov has delivered an absolute belter of a vault. 14.45 the score, 9.25 execution. Comes the second. This wasn't quite as strong in qualifying. Oh, that was big. That was a big vault. That was more so, I think, than qualification. Have to wait and see. I think he's gone and pulled out something pretty massive here, Sharamkov, in a bid to get himself on the podium. He has had the heartbreak of just missing out recently on a podium finish. He was fourth in the European Championships in Szczecin. I don't know if any of you remember watching that and the drama that followed afterwards when Andrei Medvedev had an upgrade to his score. There will be a penalty there for Sharamkov quite clearly. Sharamkov went from a bronze medal position down into fourth. He was sitting there rather as the entirely unintentionally forgotten man of the whole occasion. But people will remember him now because he's gone into a leading position.
Mexico.
14.35.
Fabian de Luna Hernandez.
So it is Sharamkov 1, Porto 2. Fabian de Luna Hernandez of Mexico, fifth best in qualifying. And he is a gymnast who's got some really nice execution going on as well. did establish such a clean, clear path in that vault. Seeing from a lot of gymnasts, a little bit of a raising of the quality of execution in this final. He's gone up by a 10 to 14.3. Now this is an opportunity to really go into medal contention. This was a 14 in qualifying. Can he execute it well? Oh, he certainly can. He did have a hop forwards on the landing. Where did he end up on that hop? That's the question. Replay will give us a clearer indication of that. Let us see. Looks like he's just drifted out a touch. Now the execution was 8.8 for this vault in qualification. May have been better executed, but there will be the penalty likely to offset. Or will there? Yes, there will. So it's a 14.05 for that second vault. 14.175 the score. So fourth place for Helena Hernandez.
Korea.
Kim Han-sol from the Republic of Korea, the second strongest in qualifying. 14.525 for him. Now he really does have good difficulty. A chance to create a little bit of a cushion. This was tidy vaulting. Certainly gets fully round, controls his landing well. So many of these gymnasts seem to have picked up the execution of at least one of their vaults quite a bit from what happened in qualification. They look reasonably quietly confident, and that's why 14.8 goes up by half a tenth. So he's reasonably on course here, Kim Han-sol, to move into the lead if he can have stable execution in this second. Let us find out. Certainly can, and he really gets distance away from the table. The 23-year-old who's a student of education at the Korea National Sport University, institution founded in the early 1970s. And it's a university that's produced a lot of very good athletes over the years. Many of you watched Pyeongchang 2018, you might remember Yoon Sung-bin, who won the skeleton competition, and also Shim Suk-hee and Lim Hyo-jun. They were short track speed skaters who took gold. There was Park Sang-young, who was a fencer who won épée gold in Rio. So he's in esteemed company in the athletic community. But he might well be very much on his own at the top of the leaderboard, and he is. 14.65. No company necessary for Kim Han-sol, and he's secured himself a medal as well. Only one gymnast can intercede. That is Robert Gyuzan of Romania. Now, he had certainly contending difficulty, Gyuzan, in qualifying. 5.2 difficulty vaults. That puts him in the mix. His execution wasn't very secure by comparison. 23-year-old from Bucharest, first vault. And that has all but handed the gold to Kim Han-sol of the Republic of Korea, because there's going to be a full mark lost for the sit-down from Gyuzan. you know, he was pretty close actually to being able to rescue this. Not that far away, it really isn't. One of those nearly but not quite occasions that you get in this sport. Do that on many an occasion and rescue it. His second appearance at the Universiade. Well, he'll know now that that's the job done, but he's doing what all gymnasts do, which is not celebrate it with too great a vigour until the next, or the final gymnast has competed. So it's an unspoken etiquette in the sport. Can Robert Guzan finish on his terms? Here's his second vault. He certainly can. Nice that he landed that one well, shows us what he's about as a vaulter. He managed to get a vault bronze medal in the World Challenge Cup last year, one of the regular season events for gymnasts.
Conclude the final vault.
And this was much better. This is a difficult landing as well. Just keep an eye on the head position as he's executing this vault. Sees nothing of the mat as he's approaching. A really difficult landing to produce. And to make sure that you actually meet the mat rather than the mat meets you in a vault like that is very accomplished work. Guzan will know that he's got too much left to do. So his final score is 13.3, and that is good enough for 7th position for the gymnast from Romania. Consequently, these are the final standings. Luis Porto of Brazil getting a bronze medal. Igor Shalonkov of Belarus securing the silver. Great moment for him after missing out on a few occasions recently. And Kim Han-sol of the Republic of Korea is the Universiade champion. No time to lose. Action continues here in the Pala Vesuvio in Ponticelli, Napoli. I'll just give you a moment to remember what you've seen in this men's vault competition. And obviously, continued attention and medical assistance being given to Marco Walter. A very strong first vault, but problems on his second. Just seemed to come down awkwardly, slightly bent over on his foot or ankle, but he's being well tended to. And if we do get any updates on Marco Walter, then obviously I shall let you know.
Barbara Mogozova, Slovakia. Lara Mori, Italia. Uliana Pereminozova, Russia. Jessica Dowling, Canada.
Introduction of the competitors in this women's balance beam competition.
Sushihara, Japan. Carlotta Ferlito, Italy.
Two gymnasts from the host nation, in case you hadn't picked up by the enormous roar.
Hitomi Atakeda, Japan. Yan Yinji, Hong Kong.
The start list for the women's balance beam competition. Uliana Perebinosova of the Russian Federation, second strongest in qualifying, goes third in the order. Carlotta Ferlito, the third strongest, goes at number 6. And penultimate gymnast to compete will be the top qualifier, Hitomi Hatakeda of Japan, who's going for yet another gold medal. Can she achieve it? Can she manage 4 at this Universiade? That would be something extraordinary. Just a chance for a moment of clarification as well, as the Italian fans get themselves warmed up and ready to enjoy the work of Carlotta Felito and Laura Mori. The men's vault competition. Igor Sharamkov and Luis Porto ending up with the same total score, 14.35 for both of those competitors, but the separation criteria immediately looks at the single highest scoring vault, and Sharamkov just marginally won that one, which is why, even though they have the same score, Sharamkov takes the silver and Porto takes the bronze. Uliana Perebinosova going through her warm-up process. Jess Dowling of Canada. She was the 8th strongest in qualification. Well, the fascinating thing about this balance beam competition is when you actually look at the qualification scores, there is not a huge amount of what I sometimes refer to as daylight between the competitors. Now, top qualifier, Hitomi Hatakeda, 13.1. But then when you get to the second strongest, which is Uliana Perebinosova, 12.85. And then let's take a little jump down the order. Carlotta Felito, 3rd best, 12.85. Fourth strongest, Laura Mori, 12.85. 5th strongest in this whole process was Aiko Sugihara, and she scored, look, you don't need me to carry on with this, it's 12.85. The 6th strongest, that was the gymnast from Hong Kong, Nyan Ying, and she scored 12.8. So the gap between 2nd and 6th position is half a tenth, which means we could be in for an extremely close contest. Sometimes those qualification scores really do pan out in the final. They really are significant. Other times, everything can change. Laura Mori's mother has been a ever-present figure throughout this competition. She's been so proud to be here and supporting her daughter. A lot of the Mori family have come along to enjoy the competition. Indeed, the Japanese gymnasts have also been extremely well supported. There's a great travelling contingent of Japanese fans that travel around the world to support their team. It's been a shorter journey for Laura Mori's parents. Montevacchi, North Italian town, that's where Laura was born. Trip into the Mezzogiorno, the southern portion of Italy.
Stop warm-up. Barbara Mokosova, Slovakia.
The first gymnast to compete, Barbara Mokosova of Slovakia, 9th strongest in qualification, 12.4 for her. Her difficulty slightly lower than we'll see from other competitors, so reliant on the execution. Unfortunately, immediately on the mount loses a full mark. So a blink and you'll miss it moment. Not if you're a judge, of course. She's re-attained stability in this routine. It's nicely controlled. Dismounts really well. Well, everything after the first moment of that display was very sound from Barbara Mokashova. She'll look back at that moment again where it didn't quite happen on the mount. Just a fraction off, that's all. It's cruel, the balance beam. You only have to be off by a tiny, tiny amount, and that's the end of that. Recovered really nicely to produce a very fine dismount. Very gifted athlete, Mokashova. She's also a very keen snowboarder. She is approaching the end of her sports studies degree at Comenius University.
Barbara Mokashova.
It's 11.55 for Barbara Mokashova, from Bratislava.
Mokashova in pedana. Lara Mori, Italia.
Now to Lara Mori, the fourth strongest qualifier, so she's definitely in with a shout. And she has delivered really impressive work on the balance beam so far. This is the big one. She's through the first bit. Stability and security in this routine was a key part of Italy's success in taking the team bronze. Now it's just her. She's there. Some fans are rather torn between calling out encouragement and being utterly silent. You can hear a few cheers, a few shushes around the field of play. It's a nervous Vesuvio. She doesn't seem nervous at all. Growing into this routine, actually. That was nice. Very well done by Lara Mori. Is it going to be good enough to contend for a medal? It's certainly going to ask the question. The camera operator's nearly sent flying by a jubilant Lara Mori and coach. Impressive, the camera operator avoided a full mark deduction. Kept on their feet very well. As did she. Not the easiest of mounts of the apparatus. This was very stable. Footwork actually does accentuate just how well managed that high leg split pirouette was. From an execution standpoint, perhaps it was a little less clean than the performance she delivered in the qualification. So maybe a couple of more wobbly moments, but not a lot. Only score we've had in so far is Barbara Mokashova, and this will almost certainly go into first place, but for how long? Because Pervinosova is up next. She was the second strongest, but all of these gymnasts, this group of 2 through to 5, they were all on the same score. It was just down to the execution tiebreakers. And there are some very experienced judges, not just as judges, but as competitors. The odd world champion here and there, watching on, making their assessment. So just a reminder, 12.85 in qualification for Lara Mori, 4th best performer, but all down to execution, really. Three gold medals did Lara Mori at the Mediterranean Games last year. She was the only Italian gymnast, male or female, who won gold medals. She had teammate Giada Grisetti, who took a medal on the balance beam. One of the things you will have heard me talk about if you've been watching the competition since it started, how she's been performing really well in the domestic league, in the Serie A of gymnastics in Italy, and how that's been a great confidence build for Lara Mori. And she has looked every inch the confident gymnast in this competition. Going to celebrate her 21st birthday at the end of this month. Bit of deliberation going on. Quite a long period of time the judges are spending looking at this, but it doesn't matter as long as they get it right. That's what they will try to do. It does give Uliana Pervinosova a little bit of thinking time, maybe more than she'd like to have. So it's 12.85 for Lara Mori. She's gained a couple of tenths on difficulty. She's lost a couple of tenths on execution. So she's exactly where she was in the qualification, or after the qualification. She's in the gold medal position at the moment. Now to Uliana Pervinosova of the Russian Federation. Another 12.85 score in qualifying. Second best because her difficulty was a touch low, her execution was very good. She's had a very strong competition so far, a couple of silver medals. That was really steady from Pervinosova. Never did that seem particularly in doubt as a routine. really good central mark set on those wolf turns, didn't deviate from it. That's the moment where she brought that under control quite quickly and quite well. Made it almost unnoticeable. Judges might think she could have got the knees tucked in a little bit tighter in the dismount. Very difficult for a gymnast to do that when they're not really very high off the ground at all in the first place. But it's another display of very good execution from Uliana Perebinosova. Although her difficulty might not be as high as some of the competitors we're going to see, if it does come down to an execution tiebreaker, well, she could find herself in a similar sort of position as she was in qualification. Jess Dowling is getting ready to compete.
Perebinosova, beam. Total score 12-80. 12.800.
It's a score of 12.8 for Perebinosova. Now she's lost a tenth from a difficulty point of view, gained half a tenth in execution, so just down slightly from qualifying. Second position for her. Mori is still in the lead. Jess Dowling of Canada, 8th strongest in qualifying. Oh, she just held it somehow. It was a prolonged moment of stabilisation from the 24-year-old. It was a good acrobatic sequence. As we saw with Mokashova, Dowling has really settled into this display. A gymnast from Ontario's the University of Guelph. She's got her sights set on further study in the field of genetics and nutrition. Aspiring to get a master's degree undertaken pretty soon. This was the moment where she really struggled. Interesting to see what the judges think about how she went about stabilising that. The role, if anything, that the hands played, or whether that was in fact the start of the next sequence. Certainly wasn't the tidiest of moments of stabilisation.
Jessica Dowling, Canada, total score 12.05.
So it's 12.05 for Jess Dowling. It's a little bit down in qualifying by around about 4 tenths.
Sorry. Aiko Tsujihara, Japan.
Aiko Sugihara of Japan next to compete was briefly announced as being Carlotta Felito. But it is indeed the 5th strongest qualifier, Sugihara. This has a sense of elegance to it. Now this is where she did have some problems in the all-around and again. not for the first time in this competition, attempting that turn that she has so successfully popularised. Win a bronze medal on the balance beam at the very prestigious NHK Trophy in Japan recently. That's for the top performers in the national championships. Got ourselves a fascinating balance beam final developing. Sugihara was a 12.85 in qualification. Will find herself somewhat counted out of things. It's not far away again. It's not far away on the balance beam. Invariably ends up being so far away. Points like this I always suggest to any of you out there who are new to the sport and watching a balance beam competition for the first time, just pop out into the garden and draw a line, a chalk line about your foot in width, about 10 centimetres, and just contemplate how easy that is to traverse. When a gymnast is excelling on the balance beam, it looks like the widest thing in the world. And once you get up close to a balance beam, it really isn't. This is, of course, one of the reasons why it's one of the most exciting pieces of apparatus to watch. Well, she's done enough to move into the bronze medal position, Sugihara. 12.55. So this is how things stand with 3 gymnasts to go. We've got Mori leading, Peribinosova in second place, Sugihara in third. 12.85 the leading mark, 12.8 the silver, 12.55 the bronze. To Carlotta Felito of Italy. There's a gap opened here if she can take it. Has been a silver medalist on the balance beam at the Youth Olympic Games. She's held it. Almost there. Very nearly there. And finally, to the immense relief of the crowd in the Pala Vesuvio, there. Well, Italy are laying down a supreme challenge for gold in this balance beam final. Mori leading the way. Felito might well be up there too. And you just get the sense that they won't really care which way it goes on the podium. If it's one of them, they'll be delighted. It's been great to see Felito, such a high-profile athlete of these games. She was very heavily involved in the lighting of the flame at the opening ceremony. Took place at the Stadio San Paolo. And then part of the team that took the bronze medal in the women's competition. She has for such a long time been such a known gymnast in her home nation. she might be about to get even more well-known. A little reminder of the great work of Carlotta Felito on the balance beam. The question is going to be, where does she fit in terms of Mori, Harabinosova and Sugihara? Is she going to be able to squeeze into those gold or silver positions? Is she going to be able to get beyond Sugihara? Still 2 to go, and the top qualifier is one of them. The gymnast who keeps winning when she competes. Not quite for Felito. 12.4 is the score. Difficulty of 4.8 she's been given. And that's interesting because she had a 5.3 in qualifying. Now, Hitomi Hadakeda of Japan has got to contend with just a little bit of noise from the crowd. By and large, they've stopped that as she's come up to perform. So here is the work of the top qualifier. 13.1 was her score. She's just looking so very hard to dislodge at the moment. Very reliable displays. She has been the standout performer of gymnastics at these games in terms of what she's won. Team gold, all-around gold, uneven bars gold. Is a fourth gold medal about to follow for Hitomi Hadakeda. It's a performance of exceptional composure. Really just fantastic. This could be the big challenge to the lead established by Lara Mori. Italy are guaranteed another medal because Mori is in first position with just 2 scores to come in. Is Hadakeda going to go into first place once more? She certainly is. She hasn't seen the score come through yet. She's seen it now. She's got 13, and Hitomi Hadakeda, similar reaction to the uneven bars mark. She's gone into the gold medal position. She might be about to get number 4. The last competitor, Nyan Yin of Hong Kong. 6th strongest in qualification, 12.8. Now, it's certainly by no means out of the question this gymnast could actually impose herself upon the podium. Did well to hold that. She She is very much a specialist on the balance beam. Did participate in the Asian Games and Asian Championships balance beam qualification. Missed out on the final, but she's taking full opportunity in this final. Could be a little bit of a costly moment. It's been a few of them now. Quite visible moments of stabilising. But a very good display from Nyan Yin. Now, whether she's done enough, considering that she was at 12.8 in qualification, to get onto the podium, because 12.8 is the mark required to secure a medal. It's just the problem is that it's an 8 execution score that's occupying bronze, so realistically she's got to go beyond that. Did have higher difficulty than Perebinosova if we look at qualification, a 5 if she gets everything she's attempting. It will be a good race for bronze. A good fight from the gymnast from Hong Kong.
12-10 per Ji. Punteggio finale 12,100.
So it is Hatakeda 1, Mori 2, Perebinosova 3. Will there be any change as this final score comes in from Nyan Yin of Hong Kong? Hasn't quite got there. Did get the 5 difficulty, but it's a 12.1 score overall for her. She's in 6th position, and that means there's a huge roar because Lara Mori has taken a silver medal. She led for much of that competition. Highest difficulty score of anyone in the top 3. It's the bronze for Uliana Perebinosova of the Russian Federation, the silver for Lara Mori of the host nation, Italy, and the gold, once again, another gold, a 4th gold for Hitomi Hatakeda of Japan. She is unstoppable.
Apparatus final men parallel bars. Lee Chin-kai, Chinese Taipei. Marco Sarruggerio, Italia. Kazuma Kaya, Japan. Hamet Onder, Turkey. Milad Karimi, Kazakhstan. Russia.
The introduction of the gymnasts for the men's parallel bars final here at Napoli 2019.
Kakeru Tanikawa, Japan. Start warm-up.
So the warm-up time begins for these gymnasts. The start list for the men's parallel bars final in artistic gymnastics at Napoli 2019. The third strongest qualifier, Kazmakaya, will go third in the order. He'll be followed by the second strongest, Ahmed Unda of Turkey. And then right at the end we'll have Kakeru Tanikawa, who was top qualifier with his 14.95 routine.
È stato ritrovato un iPhone 8 rosa. Rivolgersi alla sicurezza. Grazie.
If you're just joining the action here at Napoli 2019, welcome to the Pala Vesuvio and welcome to the final session of artistic gymnastics competition at these games. There are 3 more apparatus finals to take place. The men's parallel bars, the warm-up is in process for that at the moment. Then we have the women's floor exercise and the men's horizontal bar. And after all is said and done, then gymnastics will pack its bags for just a few days before the rhythmic gymnasts come in to occupy the Pala Vesuvio for the last 3 days of the games. They've been well entertained. I hope you have too, watching the competition at home. A chance to see Marco Saruggerio in action here. He was a part of the Italian team and will be joined by Stefano Patron, his teammate. They were the 8th and 9th strongest in qualification respectively. Italy were 4th in the men's team competition. He's been a great story of these games. Ivan Stretovic, silver medal in the all-around competition. It was fascinating watching him come through from being, I believe, 6th in qualification to really deliver a great first half of the campaign, because he's at his strongest in places like the parallel bars, on the horizontal bar. That's really where he excels. But what he did do, Stretovic, was make the first half count. He was great on floor, vaulted really well. His Pommelhuis routine was sharp. So it was all around much improved display and good enough not just to get onto the podium but to secure the second highest prize. Been great enthusiasm in the city of Naples for these games. It's really been well attended. The opening ceremony had a fantastic atmosphere, really big crowd in a big stadium. Stadio San Paolo is a large place. It's the home of Napoli Football Club. And there's been a sense of purpose and excitement about the city for these games. Other sports at the games, the aquatics programme, diving, swimming, water polo, archery, athletics, basketball, fencing, football, judo, rugby sevens, sailing, shooting, table tennis, taekwondo, tennis and volleyball. Actually, this venue were not hosting the gymnastics. It would have been a good option for judo because it hosts a lot of domestic judo competitions here, and it also hosts a lot of indoor athletics, though it's an outdoor programme at these games. Indeed, it's used by high-level basketball teams in Naples. And such a fascinating city, founded by the Greeks in the 2nd millennium. So it's one of the most continuously inhabited places in the world. 6th century BC, it was first referred to as Neapolis. And they say that the city was founded by Parthenope, one of the sirens, and I think was the daughter of Terpsichore, the goddess of dance. Feels like the right thing to say ahead of the women's floor competition in a short while. And they actually did a lovely tribute to the founding of the city at the opening ceremony. They looked at how Parthenope apparently threw herself into the sea. She's one of the sirens, and her songs failed to entice Odysseus. And, she was washed ashore in Naples near the present-day Castel dell'Ovo. So it always has maintained this very Greek feel, the city of Naples. Even during the Roman era, Greek was still widely spoken here. It became somewhat Romanised, lots of public baths, villas and aqueducts. Some of it, a lot of it has still survived to this day, as Roman buildings tend to do. Definitely a city well worth a visit, and it's very nice weather indeed. So the men's parallel bars final is about to get underway, and it will start with Li Chikai of Chinese Taipei. And he really has got a great record of success at the Universiade. Not just here, where he's won a team silver, an all-around bronze and a pommel horse gold, a full set of colours at these games, but he also won the pommel horse gold at the Universiade in his home country a couple of years ago. He is still only 23. He's been around for such a long time. Well, this was a very good routine in qualification from Li Chikai. He had a 14.4 score, and it was crisply executed. Might have been a touch diagonal on that handstand. He certainly isn't there. Secure in that Diamondon. Just as in qualification, got a nice bit of clearance. How's his travel going to be? Very good, gets good 2/3 clearance down the bars. And that's actually a very elegant and stylish correction of the overarch. He made light of that. There's a touch jackknifed as he goes into that dismount. But certainly very strong from Li Chikai. Now, there is some bigger difficulty to come, most notably from Kazumikaya. So it's just going to be down to whether the execution from the gymnast of Chinese Taipei is sharp enough, or considered to be sharp enough by the execution panel of judges. rescued the dismount well with just a small hop forwards. Quite bent over on those nose near the knees occasions. .65. Execution's down quite a bit. By 3/4 of a mark from his qualification score. So Lee Chi-kai, 13.65. And that, to a degree, could help open the door for a gymnast like Marco Saruggerio, because at 14.1 he was the 8th strongest in qualifying, so he's now got a clear target to aim for. Great story for how he got into the sport. His childhood friend was a gymnast. He said, go on, have a go, come along, keep me company, and clearly he hasn't stopped since. He's also a very fine coach and interdisciplinary coach, Marco Saruggerio.
13.70. Lee Chi-kai. Italia, Marco Saruggerio.
Let's come back to Saruggerio in a moment, because it looks as though there's been an adjustment to the score of Lee Chi-kai. 13.7 that's now showing up as. .9 for execution, so the execution score has gone up by a little bit. Perhaps the score might have been displayed preemptively. Either way, it's 13.7 for Lee Chi-kai. Now, to Marco Saruggerio of Italy. He was the 8th strongest in qualifying. That's a nice journey down the bars. Flips the heels well into the handstand position. Nice and tidy work from Marco Saruggerio. That will mean a lot to him. Didn't have the opportunity to participate in the all-around competition. And good that he's been there, having his moment in a big final, having been such great support to his teammates. He's been an ever-present figure when they've been competing. He did get a pretty difficult moment there where he collided leg on the bar. But other than that, it was a very nicely performed display. As I was mentioning earlier, he is a very good coach. He doesn't just coach in artistic gymnastics, he's an acrobatic gymnastics coach as well at his own club, Juventus Novomelzo, and also in Milan. Nice to see gymnasts working across the disciplines. And he scored a 14.15. So Marco Saruggerio goes into gold medal position. We still have 6 gymnasts to compete.
14 and 15. 14 e 150. Japan. Kazuma Kaya.
Once again, Kazuma Kaya. This is the last time that we're going to see him competing at these games. But what memories he has given us. Team gold, and the key performer in that team gold. The all-around gold, silver on the floor, bronze on the pommel horse. Can he have one last extra piece of luggage to take with him? He was the third strongest in qualifying, 14.45. He's got to rescue the overarch. It's very composed. Execution has been very good since that moment. Isn't that lovely crispness into handstand? So perfect. He's got extra difficulty in this little sequence on the single bar. Very methodical handstand that he's then lost, has to pace forward. He's had to hold that for a very long time to get stability. Well, whatever happens in this final, he has been magnificent at these games. He's also, I think, fairly worn out, Kazumakaya. And that's what happens when you become the figurehead gymnast of the team. When you're such a strong performer, suddenly in so many finals, a lot of work to do. And it's been a job well done for Kazumakaya of Japan. This bit of correction of the overarch, it's great composure and it's also great strength, because it's so easy in that kind of position. Any gymnast will tell you that they can just go over completely, and he displayed incredible calmness and strength to hold on to it. I think for him, whatever Kazumakaya does in this parallel bars competition, he's delivered in a big way. It won't be another gold. It's going to be a fight to hold on to another medal. 13.75 for Kaya. Just to take a moment to give you an update on Marco Volter, the Swiss gymnast who had a difficult landing on his second vault in the first final of our session of competition. Volter has just been taken to a hospital to have some x-rays just to see if all is well. So they're just making sure that he is okay and that any diagnosis is performed appropriately and quickly. So that's a little update on the Swiss gymnast. Ahmet Under of Turkey, the second strongest in qualification. Really did get some height Under. Superb handstand work. Nice dismount too. Young gymnast from Izmir. Took a gold in the parallel bars at the Mediterranean Games last year. He's done really well recently with some tough injuries to battle his way through. It's restricted the apparatus he can perform, and he's so well known as an all-round competitor. Got big continental honours when he took the silver in the horizontal bar in Minsk at the European Games. Wouldn't have missed this event for the world. Really determined to be here. Now, where's he going to be positioned?
45.
From under to over. He goes into the lead. 14.45 for the Turkish gymnast. He's now in the gold medal position. So it is Ahmet Under, Marco Sarajerio, Kazumakaya, 1, 2, 3 at the halfway mark of the competition.
Kazakhstan, Milad Karimi.
Kazakhstan's Milad Karimi will be the next competitor, the 5th of the 8 and the 7th strongest in qualification. Milad Karimi was 7th in the floor final. He was a good competitor in the all-around. Coming from the second group, he performed significantly beyond his qualification standing. Qualified in 8th position, ended up in 5th. He was reasonably close to challenging for a medal. This has a nice sense of smoothness about it as a display. That was sharp, just a tiny bit of correction necessary. Very nice there. Well, he did well to hold that dismount. There was just a slight sense of a crumpling of the knee as he was about to go to one side, made light of it. Great young gymnast. Still in his very early 20s, still with a lot of developing to do. And he's a brave gymnast as well. He had a very bad break of the arm on the parallel bars in Melbourne at the World Cup in 2018. It has in no way deterred him. Still approaches this work with great confidence. It's what he loves to do, it's where his heart is. That was nicely rescued. Could be an important rescue in his bid to get onto the podium. That he's done. 14.25. He's stepped up from qualification, Karimi. So Unda is still in the lead. Karimi, second place. Salugerio now is in the bronze medal position. Kazimir Kaya has dropped down to 4th, so Kaya won't be adding to his medal collection.
Russia, Ivan Stridovic.
Carlotta Felito will be competing in the women's floor exercise in a short while. She's getting herself warmed up for that. The silver medalist in the all-around competition, Ivan Stridovic of the Russian Federation. An Olympic medalist in Rio 2016. He's got to correct at the start. Very nice from Ivan Stridovic, a gymnast who has developed confidence enormously here at the Universiade. Really has. It's been a very positive year for Stridovic. 5th in the all-round at the Russian Championships to really get things moving. Competed at the European Championships in Poland. It was only his 2nd international appearance since the Olympic Games in Rio. And he's just gone on and developed since then. It was way back in 2013 that he was a gold medalist on the parallel bars at an event called the European Youth Olympic Festival. And he might well be taking another gold medal here. That's a really good score indeed for Stridovic. 14.8. He is in the gold medal position. Sarogerio has dropped down into 4th place. Under is 2nd, Karimi is 3rd. Now it's over to Sarogerio's teammate Stefano Patron.
Italia, Stefano Patron.
Look of immense focus on the face of Stefano Patron. He was the 9th strongest in qualifying, 14.05. Well, that brings to a close what has been very impressive work from Stefano Patron. The final display that we will see from this young, promising home gymnast. And he has been so warmly received by the crowd in the Pala Vesuvio. I've loved watching him at work. Great things, events like these, because they give gymnasts like this, somebody who was such a highly regarded junior, the chance to shine and to maybe break through once more. In 2016 he was at the Junior European Championships. It's 14.05 exactly as he performed in qualification. So 5th position for him, just behind his teammate Sarogerio. So Stredovic is guaranteed a medal, Under is guaranteed a medal. Karimi waits on the top qualifier.
Japan.
Kakeru Tanigawa.
Kakeru Tanigawa.
14.95 was the score for Kakeru Tanigawa with his qualification display. If he achieves that here, then he will take the gold medal. Really does get full travel down those bars. It's going to be a very tough wait indeed now for Ivan Stredovic. Hard to tell whether Kakeru Tanigawa thinks he's done enough or not. They have just been so marvellous, the entire Japanese team at this competition, both men's and women's artistic gymnastics. Kakeru Tanigawa was 4th in the all-around. Is he going to get anything to add to his team gold medal? He was very much bent over on the dismount. kept his feet very steady, but had to pull up from a very piked position. That could cost. Has got some good difficulty in the routine. If he gets the full credit, there was 6.2 difficulty in qualification. Leading gymnast Stretevich had a 5.9 difficulty. So it could be a little bit of help for Tanegawa as he waits with, I suspect, great nerves. This could be an extremely close finish, actually. Gymnasts waiting to take to the floor exercise. Stretevich 1, Under 2, Karimi 3, 14.8, 14.45, 14.25. Suspect that Karimi will be feeling a touch on the anxious side about his place on the podium with this score still to come in. Still 2 events to come. The women's floor, the men's horizontal bar. Takeru Tanegawa already has a team gold. Is he going to get an individual prize to take away with him? He is going to get a prize, but it's going to be a silver medal, 14.55 for Takeru Tanegawa. And even Stretevich has won the competition. Tanegawa and Stretevich both on a 5.9 for difficulty. Stretevich, following his great success in the all-around competition, a silver medalist there, he triumphs here. The final standings in the men's parallel bars competition: a bronze for Turkey's Ahmet Under, a silver for Takeru Tanegawa of Japan, the gold medal to Ivan Stretevich of the Russian Federation. It's a job exceptionally well done by Stretevich. Here come the gymnasts for the women's floor exercise. Farah Abdul Hadi of Malaysia, one of the competitors. She was 6th strongest in qualification. Jessica Dowling following behind her. She's got a really exciting floor routine to watch. There actually is some really great creativity in these performances. They're most distinct.
Apparatus final woman floor. Aiko Sugihara, Japan.
Aiko Sugihara of Japan,
Russia.
2nd strongest in qualification, followed by the top qualifier, Lilia Akaimova. Akaimova had a very different experience in the all-around final. And Abdul Hadi, then Carlotta Felito, then Uliana Perevinosova, the 6th, 3rd and 5th strongest qualifiers respectively. Jess Dowling of Canada, 7th strongest. Hitomi Hatakeda of Japan, 4th strongest in qualification, going for a clean sweep of winning every single event that she has taken part in at this Universiade. Fan Ko-ching of Chinese Taipei, the 8th strongest qualifier, will be the last to go. The start list for the women's floor exercise, and we begin with 2 and 1 in qualification. Sugihara and Akaimova And then we wait to see what Carlota Folito, the third strongest, and Hitomi Hatakeda, the fourth strongest, can do. Hatakeda is on the roll of her life as a performer. This is sensational form that she has been in. Certainly there is great performance coming. And let's just take a moment to remember and enjoy some of the moments from the men's parallel bars final that has just taken place. A touch of warm-up time for the gymnasts competing in the floor exercise.
Vi comunichiamo che la classifica delle parallele pari al momento non è definitiva.
All eyes on Hitomi Hatakeda. She has already won 4 gold medals. If she wins this, well, let's start with if she wins a medal in this. That's a medal in every event. If she wins it, that is a clean sweep. She didn't take a medal in the women's vault competition by virtue of not being in it, so we ought not to judge her too harshly there. And Abdul Hadi has got a really exciting floor routine. She has an elegance and a sense of theatricality as a performer. She's won a couple of Southeast Asian Games gold medals on floor, along with a couple of team titles.
La classifica delle parallele pari
Subject of exciting floor routines, Jessica Dowling of Canada, really stylish performer.
Da parte del Giappone, pertanto la classifica non è definitiva. There is an inquiry in ranking of parallel bars, so the ranking is not confirmed.
Just hearing an announcement by the stadium announcer to say that the men's parallel bars competition is undergoing some form of inquiry at the moment. I'm not sure entirely what that inquiry is, but obviously I shall let you know if I know anything and if anything changes. So just stick a pin in the parallel bars results for the time being. We'll see what occurs later. But for now, our focus is on the women's floor exercise. Aiko Sugihara, the gymnast who took a team gold, was 4th in the all-around, 4th on balance beam. Second strongest qualifier here with a score of 13.25. It's a quite mesmerising routine, isn't it, from Sugihara? Gymnast whose academic studies are conducted at the Japan Women's College of Physical Education. 19-year-old is from Osaka originally. Great city that I thoroughly recommend you taking a visit to if you happen to be popping out to Tokyo for the Olympic Games next year. Just recently took a silver medal on the floor exercise at the All Japan Event Championships. It's full of character as a display. It's a wonderful song being played at the moment. Love Shine Light by Katrina and the Waves. Last time the UK won the Eurovision Song Contest back in 1997. I'm sure you all knew that. Just wanted to remind you. We'll get there again one day. Now, we've had confirmation of an inquiry being submitted in the parallel bars competition. Kakeru Tanegawa, it's a difficulty score. He had a 5.9 for difficulty in the final versus a 6.2 in qualification. So they're looking at that again now.
Inquiry, parallel bars accepted.
Now, hang on a moment. We've just heard a noise there saying that the parallel bars inquiry has been accepted. Meanwhile, we'll have a score coming in for Sugihara in a little while. Oh, it's all very interesting. So, Kakeru Tanegawa, 14.85 is his score. His difficulty has been upgraded. And what that means is that Tanegawa has taken the gold over Stretovic. We'll come back to that in a while, to Lilia Akimova of the Russian Federation on floor. Top qualifier, but she did have some difficulties in the all-around competition yesterday. Lilia Akimova of the Russian Federation. Team silver medal. She went out and produced a bronze medal in the all-around final. And she once again had moments of difficulty with this floor routine.
First place,
Whatever the outcome of this particular final, she leaves with 3 medals at the very least from the Universiade. It's been a very good campaign for her. But with the top qualifier having had some problems, then there is potential for others to make their way through and impose themselves. Could one of them be Takeda, Now there is confirmation of the change to the parallel bars standings. Even Stredovic drops down to silver medal. Kakeru Tanagawa goes up to gold. Ahmadunda, bronze medal position remaining the same for him. And that's because Tanagawa was originally given a 5.9 difficulty score. It was then reverted to the 6.2 that he had in qualification. Meanwhile, Lilia Akaimova is in second position. Her score 12.25. To Farah Abdul Hadi of Malaysia, 25-year-old from Subang Jaya. 4 times a Southeast Asian Games champion, including twice on floor. She's the reigning Southeast Asian Games champion on floor. This event is about producing leaders, it's about producing role models. And Farah Abdul Hadi, she's certainly, to refer to the motto of FISU, in today's stars, tomorrow's leaders, she's certainly a star of today. That is clear from what she's accomplished in gymnastics at multi-sport games. But some years ago, she was criticised by some sources for her competition attire not being supposedly modest enough at the Southeast Asian Games. She responded rather wonderfully with the phrase, "Empty cans make the most noise." And as I said, this event is about today's stars and tomorrow's leaders. That's the behaviour of a leader of tomorrow. And she is a splendid role model for so very many. It's a great display as well. It really is a stylish performance. Really good to see her acquit herself as she intended to in this final. Will Carlotta Felito, who comes up next. Sugihara leads with a score of 13. And just the Malaysian gymnast place. Bit of a wait for Carlotta Felito to take to the competition floor. Felito, the third strongest in qualification, just having a last conversation with herself about what she needs to do. Go out there and perform. It's a great routine, by the way. If you haven't seen Felito's, it's another great piece of storytelling and performance. It's enormous fun to watch, and it really will get the crowd going. You can bet your bottom dollar. is Farhan Abdul Hadi going. 12.55 her score, exactly as in qualification. Down a fraction on difficulty, up on execution, a couple of tenths in either direction. So no change for her, she's in the silver medal position at the moment. Representing the host nation, as if you couldn't tell from the roar, Carlotta Ferlito of Italy. 13.2 in qualifying, she was the third strongest. Oh, gymnastics, you do make us smile. Carlotta Ferlito moved to tears by the reception she has received from the crowd here. They absolutely adore her. She has delivered a performance of such style and such quality and such character. And yes, this is gymnastics, and yes, there's great tumbling going on. There needs to be great tumbling going on. But the dance work in here, the balletic quality to the pirouettes, that must not be underestimated. There was some lovely, lovely choreography. Evidence of very clean fundamental work. She had real stability and real variety to her pirouettes, and all of it was delivered with theatricality and art. It's been an incredibly emotional process for all of these Italian gymnasts, celebrating as teammates and friends. Coaches have done really well in keeping the emotions appropriately adjusted, not repressing them, but also keeping the team grounded when the crowd have been understandably really getting behind them. Carlotta Ferlito has moved into the gold medal position. Her score 13.2, and they've just discovered, in case you couldn't tell, Napoli 2019 adores Carlotta Ferlito. Successfully blocking all of it out. Uliana Perebinosova of the Russian Federation, the fifth strongest in qualifying. Uliana Perevinosova has been such a key part of the artistic gymnastics programme at these games. Had a really impressive all-around competition. Taking the silver medal behind Hitomi Hatakeda. She's gone on to add to her collection of honours. Yes, it didn't go according to plan in the uneven bars, but took a bronze on the balance beam. Where does she find herself positioned in the floor exercise? Well, we have 3 competitors to go after this. Felito is in first place, Sugihara is in second position, Abdul Hadi is in third. I suspect for Carlotta Felito the end of this competition can't come quickly enough because it's going to be a very anxious wait. Still have got Hitomi Hatakeda to come. By the way, she seems to be winning quite a lot of stuff at the moment, in case you hadn't noticed. It's 12.7 for Perevinosova, so she's dislodged Farah Abdul Hadi to go into the bronze medal position. Now to Jessica Dowling of Canada. This is a routine that's really captured people's attention. There's been a lot of buzz on social media about it, people saying they can't wait to see this one again. Well, you now have your wish. This is a lot of fun. She was a lot more stable in the first tumbling pass than in the all-around competition. Went away and worked on that. Yes, she moved out of bounds for a penalty, but it won't be as costly. Dowling was the 7th strongest in qualification. But it really is an exciting routine to watch. It's got real presence to it. Just struggled with getting the angle of attack right at the second bit of the tumbling pass. Just coming a little bit low into it. The rest of the work was really very good. She's another gymnast who can deliver a sense of choreography around all of the gymnastic elements. This is, after all, something where a relationship with the music is essential, and she does show that. Next to come, Hitomi Hatakeda. 11.95 for Dowling. That has her in 6th position.
Japan, Hitomi Hatakeda.
Now, Hitomi Hatakeda. Here she goes. She has won 4 gold medals so far. She comes into this as the 4th strongest in qualification. Carlotta Felito leads on 13.2. Hatakeda was 0.2 behind that in qualifying. Let us take many a moment to acknowledge what a sensational Universiade it's been for Hitomi Hatakeda. No gymnast has won more than she has done. A quite amazing haul of medals. 4 golds, team, individual all-around, balance beam, uneven bars. Now there were moments like that that will carry clear deductions. Is she going to be able to do enough to get to Carlotta Felito? Even if she hasn't done, even if she comes away with nothing at all from this floor competition, she has been an absolute revelation. She's stepped forward and taken full control of gymnastics at these games. And she's done it all through being a brilliant team player as well. It won't be a further medal for Hitomi Hatakeda, but what a games it has been. She still leads. She is last to go. Fan Ko-ching of Chinese Taipei, the 8th strongest in qualification. Carlotta Felito is guaranteed at least a silver medal. Is this going to end with home gold for the host nation? Fan Ko-ching is the only gymnast who can do something about it. Been really good to see Fan Ko-ching starting to emerge as a strong performer on the floor. She's getting into these World Cup finals now, and that will only bolster her confidence. She's only 18, She's rather loved this experience. There is a huge amount of noise and hubbub of excitement. It was an unfortunate moment for Fan Ko-ching in the first tumbling pass. But there's great signs of promise in this gymnast. One would suspect it's not going to trouble the leaderboard because of that first moment. Felito leads, Sugihara second place, Pervinosova in third. They're ready, they're waiting, they're convinced. She is waiting and watching for this last score to come in. But deep down, I think everybody knows. And there is the confirmation, 11.8 the score for Fan Ko-ching. And it means that Carlotta Felito has taken the gold medal. She began the games. She lit the Universiade flame. Tonight, Carlotta Felito was the one on fire. And nobody else could hold a candle to her. A glorious gold for the host nation and for Carlotta Felito in the women's floor competition. And that little video that she took on her phone is just about the most perfect way to capture the moment. Teammates waiting to celebrate with her. Definitely need to get the coach in there as well, because she has played an absolutely enormous role in managing this team so well. Flag will be flying a little more successfully in a short while. It'll be flying as the anthem of the International University Sports Federation is played. Will be flying for that gymnast there, Carlotta Felito. She first came to attention at the Youth Olympic Games in Singapore in 2010, the inaugural Youth Olympic Games. It's at the 30th Summer Universiade that she has delighted her home fans, and she has secured a brilliant gold medal.
Felipe Ferreira, Brazil. Wataru Tanigawa.
Confirmation of the final standings in the women's floor competition. Ulyana Pervinosova of the Russian Federation taking the bronze, Aiko Sugihara of Japan the silver, Carlotta Felito of Italy winning the gold medal for the host nation.
Morello, France. Andrea Russo, Italia. Wataru Tanigawa, Japan. Kakeru Tanigawa, Japan.
And on we go with the final, the men's horizontal bar competition. And the introduction of the competitors.
Jiahan Tang, Chinese Taipei. Milad Karimi, Kazakhstan. And Felipe Ferreira, Brazil.
There's no Kazuma Kaya in this competition. He was 5th best in qualifying, but the Tanigawa brothers, Kakeru and Wataru, were the 2nd and 3rd strongest respectively in qualification. It will be Wataru Tanigawa, the 3rd strongest, who goes 3rd in the order, followed by the 2nd strongest, his younger brother Kakeru. It was Tang Xiaohong of Chinese Taipei who was the best performer in qualification. His score was 14.7. He's got a lot of difficulty in the routine and also some very compelling execution if all goes according to plan. There are 9 in this final, and the reason for that is the gymnasts Andrea Russo and Felipe Arakawa Ferreira being deadlocked on 13.7. Same execution, same difficulty. This is a look back at some of the action from the women's floor competition. Just one more apparatus final remains. Where we get a new nation taking a gold medal. So far we've had gold medals for Japan, the Russian Federation, Chinese Taipei, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Italy and the Republic of Korea. With the small extra detail that 7 of those gold medals have been won by Japan, who have been absolutely dominant. Italy have just taken their first. For even Stredovic, who comes into this as the 4th strongest qualifier, he will be probably a touch preoccupied, or will have been a touch preoccupied by the final standings in the parallel bars competition, where it looked as though he'd won the gold. And then it turned out that Kakeru Tanegawa's difficulty score had not been correctly calculated, so Stredovic 14.8 was in a position looking like he'd won the gold medal. Kakeru Tanegawa was on 14.55. But then that extra 0.3 took Tanegawa to the gold by half a tenth. Stredovic now needs to put that very firmly behind him and concentrate on this apparatus final, where he really does excel. He's an excellent gymnast on the horizontal bar. And so it is time to begin this men's horizontal bar final, the last action in the sport of artistic gymnastics at Napoli 2019, but not the end of all gymnastics competition. There is still 3 days of rhythmic gymnastics to come. Antoine Borello of France. 7th strongest in qualification, 13.85, but he did come off the bar in the all-around final. Judge these much better. That's the cross-hand grip in the Katchev. He delivered that very nicely. Antoine Borello, way better than the all-around final. Comes from a great gymnastics family. His mother, father, brother, all gymnasts. Certainly got height in the dismount. Looked as though he was going to struggle to hold it for a moment. Kept himself nice, neat and stable. Gymnast who's studying for a master's degree in physiotherapy. He has his undergraduate degree in sports science. Just a reminder that we've got 9 gymnasts competing in this horizontal bar final. 13.75 for Borello. That's much more in line with what he did in qualification rather than the all-around. So he's down by just a 10th from his qualification mark. Andrea Russo, joint 9th strongest qualifier, 13.7. So it's a really nice linking of the two Katchevs, and the bar just seemed to disappear for a moment. It looked as though he'd got that. First one into the second. There it was, gone again. Can happen. Gymnast seems to get a good contact on the grip and just isn't quite there. Did very well in the all-around competition. Russo finishing in 7th place. That's much more secure. Finishes his competition well after a problem right at the start of the routine. But Andrea Russo should just take a moment to acknowledge just how well he's done in this event. That he delivered really well, the mixed grip, release and catch. Just had a little bit of sideways movement on his dismount. Third strongest qualifier is about to take to the bar. Antoine Barella, the only mark we've had so far, 13.75 for him. Russo will be some way shy of that because of that automatic one-mark deduction. There's quite a lot of deliberation going on with the judges. Gives him plenty of thinking time. Russo's score is in, 12.7 is the number. He's in second place at the moment, but won't have aspirations of holding on to that. Wataru Tanegawa, the third best in the qualification process. 22-year-old from Funabashi. This is nice. Whoa, well, it really was nice work. I was about to say nice work with some real amplitude. Turns out there was a touch too much of it. That was good. That was so nearly just right. That's the difficulty of going into the mixed grip. Let's have one more look at this. Oh, it really was marginal though. Did take a bronze medal on the horizontal bar back in 2017 when he was part of the gold medal winning Japanese team. Then lands with a great degree of elegance, Wataru Tanegawa. Interesting start to this horizontal bar final. 2 out of the 3 gymnasts so far have had a loss of contact when going for one of their catches, and there it was. Well, that was the one that he made successfully after getting back onto the apparatus. Really did dismount well. The form in the dismount's lovely. That moment of difficulty for the third strongest qualifier, could potentially open the door for others. He was part of the team, Wataru Tanegawa, that won the World Championship bronze medal last year. It's 12.95. That means it's second place for the time being, but it really is still anybody's final. Still, Antoine Borello of France is in the gold medal position. Now, what of Wataru's brother, Kakeru? Younger brother. Both of them students at Juntendo. The second strongest qualifier with 14.625. Yamawaki into the grip variation. No, he was nowhere near. Well, it might just be that these Japanese gymnasts are starting to feel the exertions of what they've been through. Kakeru Tanegawa was in some pain right from early on in the competition because of a landing on the still rings, and that was a touch wayward. He rescued his landing nicely, best he possibly could, got himself back up quickly. Very difficult in a position like that where you're effectively spinning and spiralling towards the ground. His recovery is impressive, as it always is. To produce a moment of such fluidity after what must have been a painful landing. So it's not been the final for the Tanegawa brothers, this one. They both have had difficulties in their routines, but nonetheless, what an absolutely glorious campaign it's been for them in terms of their contribution to the team effort. Kakeru Tanegawa, he leaves these games a double gold medalist. Gold medal winning effort in the team, and also that success in the parallel bars competition. They can be very, very pleased, everyone involved in the Japanese team, with what they've accomplished. Can't have it all. This has been great for them. So just the 7 gold medals then for Japan in this artistic gymnastics programme. 13.3 for Kakeru Tanegawa. And he is in second place. So it's Borello in first, Kakeru Tanegawa second, Wataru Tanegawa third. Now to Ahmed Under.
Ahmed Under, Turkey.
Was the 8th strongest in qualifying. But suddenly, we're in the second half of the competition. And it's a 12.95 that occupies bronze. Now Under just recently took European Games silver on the horizontal bar. This is looking nice. Step forward, Ahmed Under, because he may well have just taken control of this competition. Gymnast before him having real struggles, not so the young man from Izmir. Got through all of his release and catch moves with confidence, with precision. And he's just put himself into the picture. Yes, there was a little pace as he came into the dismount, only be in comparison to Borello's 13.75. Borello might have a fraction more on difficulty, but Under, you expect, will have a touch more on execution. Oh, not a touch more, a lot more. 8.55 for execution, a 14.25 for the gymnast from Turkey, and he has gone into the gold medal position. Under leads, Borello second place, Kakeru Tanagawa in third. The Olympic silver medalist Ivan Stretovic of the Russian Federation, the fourth strongest in qualifying. Was a bronze medalist at the Russian Championships on the horizontal bar earlier this year. Very much the sort of environment we know him to be a real performer in. A lovely one-armed giant, a theatrical one-armed giant. Does get nice amplitude on the Katchev into the pike. Katchev with the cross-hand grip. And then the straddle Katchev with the cross-hand, so a couple of cross-hand grip catches. A lot of height on his dismount, a very steady landing. He is now in contention too. Now, even Stretovic, that's a great way to respond to that moment where the parallel bars medal just suddenly slipped away from him, or the gold medal slipped away from him. The bar was never in danger of slipping away from him. Those were sharp catches. That one particularly aesthetically pleasing. Now, Stretovic and Under have the same score. If you look at Stretovic's qualification, 14.25, Under now 14.25. So Stretovic needs some form of advance. He might well get it from an execution standpoint. And possibly even a touch more difficulty in there. This is certainly going to be a very competitive score. Very competitive. Stretovic goes into the gold medal position, 14.6 for him. So it's Stretovic in first place. Under is in second, Borello is in third. But now we have the top qualifier. Tang Chiahung of Chinese Taipei, the 22-year-old. Just taken a silver medal at the Asian Championships in Mongolia on the horizontal bar. And he won the Asian Games gold last year on this piece. He is very, very good. A really nice looking Yamawaki, really does float over the bar. White Kapchev to mixed grip. Straddle Kapchev to mixed grip. It is a swingful and fluid routine, and suddenly we are seeing gymnasts really deliver in this horizontal bar final. We've had a few routines of real quality back to back. It's going to need to be very strong in order to get ahead of Stretovic. That straight Kapchev, really nice. Such nice form, twisting around into that landing. Yes, he takes a few little hops here and there. That is really good work. Now, has he managed to add anything to his difficulty? Stretovic added 0.2. Tang was already slightly ahead of Stretovic in qualifying on difficulty. He had a 6 in qualification. 14.7 was his score. That will be good enough to go into the lead with one left. Can he match it? Can he improve upon it? He matches it. 14.7. Tang Xiaohong has gone into the gold medal position, and look at what it means. He is starting to dominate these big competitions. Asian Games gold on the horizontal bar. He might be about to become the Universiade champion. One gymnast can change things. Milad Karimi of Kazakhstan. So, Tang Xiaohong leads, Ivan Stretovic second, Ahmedunde third. And this the turn of the 6th strongest qualifier. Has just so much power and controls the Kovats. And then that Coleman move, Kovac with the turn. Well, Milad Karimi, you do make things interesting. One more gymnast still to come. Felipe Arakawa Ferreira of Brazil. Milad Karimi, though, has produced something quite special. Really did get so much power into the Kovac. And then the Coleman after it. Yes, a touch wild in some places. But you've got to take your hat off to him. This is exciting. There's a lot of brave work going on in this routine. Actually, for the most part, it was very nicely executed. .25 is the mark needed for a medal. 14.6 for silver, 14.7 gold. That's assuming that he could win an execution tiebreaker. The last routine of this artistic gymnastics program is nearly upon us. It's a really good score for Milad Karimi. It's not quite enough to take the gold medal. 14.675, but he doesn't care because he's got a medal. He's guaranteed a bronze.
Brazil, Felipe Ferreira.
Tang Chia-hung leads, Milad Karimi second, Ivan Sredovic third. The turn of Felipe Ferreira, 25-year-old from Minas Gerais. Hasn't done a huge amount of international competition recently, but he has got form on this piece. Need to build up the swingfulness. This is good. This is really good, actually. Linking those elements to try to get his difficulty score up. That was pretty compelling close control until it all just went wrong right at the end. And that surely will take away his chances of securing at least the top prize. But he's given us great entertainment. Felipe Arakawa Ferreira. A really mesmerising conclusion to this horizontal bar final, and indeed to this artistic gymnastics programme at Napoli 2019. Just the smallest of hops as he comes out of that landing. Tang Chia-hung, Milad Karimi, Ivan Sredovic. 14.6 is the medal mark. That's nice to see between Antoine Borrello and Felipe Arakawa Ferreira. Gave us great entertainment at the end, the Brazilian gymnast. There, the gymnast who leads the way for this last score to come in. They're desperate, everyone, to get a picture with him, thinking this could be the moment to have him right near us when this score comes in. We could get a picture of him reacting to winning the gold medal. And Felipe Arakawa Ferreira is going to finish the competition in 6th place. As a result of that, it is a second gold medal of the artistic gymnastics programme for Chinese Taipei. Tang Chia-hung doing what top qualifiers should do and winning the gold. Milad Karimi, a silver medal for him, the gymnast from Kazakhstan. He was very close, as indeed was Ivan Sredovic of the Russian Federation, who takes the bronze medal. Let's take a moment to have a look back at the best moments of this horizontal bar competition. What an absolutely marvellous artistic gymnastics programme it has been at Napoli 2019. Incredible success for Japan. 7 gold medals for them. 2 for Chinese Taipei. one for the Russian Federation, one for Armenia, one for Azerbaijan, one for Italy, one for the Republic of Korea. And many other nations also inhabiting other positions on the podium. It really has been very much the competition for this extremely strong Japanese men's and women's squad. We've had a lot of great moments along the way. And it's been a wonderful day of 10 apparatus finals, packed action in front of a very enthusiastic crowd here in the Palo Vesuvio. They were obviously ecstatic by the victory of Carlotta Felito in the women's floor exercise.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal awarding ceremony for the final apparatus artistic gymnastic, men and women. Signore e signori, la cerimonia di premiazione per le finali di specialità di ginnastica artistica maschile e femminile.
It's now time for the victory ceremony in the men's vault competition as part of the artistic gymnastics program at Napoli 2019.
Now going to begin the awarding of the medal. Sta per iniziare la consegna delle medaglie. The medals will be presented by Marat Gautolin, member of the International University Sport Federation Medical Committee, e da Rosario Pinton, Vice President of Italian Gymnastic Federation, for the mascot. Le medaglie verranno consegnate da Marat Gautolin, membro della FISU, del Comitato Internazionale Medico, e dal vicepresidente della Federazione Italiana di Ginnastica. Verrà consegnata la mascotte. Bronze medal, third place and bronze medal Luis Porto, Brazil.
When Luis Porto landed his second vault, he knew he was in the picture. That's how good a display it was. And he was absolutely right. Great display from the 22-year-old. He is from Porto Alegre, or the Joyful Harbour in Rio Grande do Sul. And he's got plenty of joy to take back with him to his hometown. Bronze medalist at the Universiade.
Second place and silver medalist, Yaor Sharamko, Bielorussia.
This is a moment that Igor Sharamkov really has earned, because he's been close on so many occasions, including at the European Championships, where it seemed for a moment that he had won a bronze medal. Well, he's gone further here at the Universiade. The 20-year-old has got himself the silver.
Hansol Kim, Korea.
There have been plenty of banners flying for the Korea National Sport University across this artistic gymnastics competition, and they'll fly really high now because one of theirs has taken a gold medal at the Universiade, Kim Han-sol of the Republic of Korea. Having taken plenty of honours across the course of his career on vaults, he now adds to his collection a gold here at the Universiade. He is the Universiade men's vault champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now please rise for the International University Sport Federation Team. And now it's time for pictures. Diamo spazio alle foto.
The medalists in the men's vault competition at Napoli 2019.
Medal awarding ceremony for apparatus final balance beam woman.
It's time for the victory ceremony for the women's balance beam competition as part of artistic gymnastics at the 30th Summer Universiade.
We are now going to begin the awarding of the medals. Sta per iniziare la consegna delle medaglie. The medals will be presented by Ilan Kowalski, Gender Equality Committee member of International University Sport Federation, and the mascot will be presented by Rosario Pitton, Vice President of Italian Gymnastic Federation. Le medaglie verranno consegnate da Ilan Kowalski e la mascotte da Rosario Pitton. Third place and bronze medalist Uliana Perebinosova, Russia. Terzo posto e medaglia di bronzo per Uliana Perebinosova, Russia.
The bronze medal to Uliana Perebinosova of the Russian Federation. A score of 12.8 to add to the silver medals that she won in the team competition and the all-around. The bronze medalist Uliana Perebinosova of the Russian Federation.
Secondo posto e medaglia d'argento Lara Mori, Italia.
It's a very emotional moment for Lara Mori, having taken a bronze in the team competition. She comes out on the balance beam where she was so crucial in that team competition to deliver a silver medal with a very composed performance in a bit of a pressure cooker environment.
First place and gold medalist, primo posto e medaglia d'oro.
Silver medal to Lara Mori of Italy. But when we talk about these games, it obviously will begin with Hitomi Hatakeda. Gold medal number 4. That's how good she's been. Team gold, all-around gold, uneven bars gold, balance beam gold. Quite simply, the best in artistic gymnastics at these games. The top performer and the standard setter. The gold medal to Hitomi Hatakeda of Japan.
And now, International University Sports Federation and team. It's time for pictures, diamo spazio alle foto.
The medalists in the women's balance beam competition at Napoli 2019.
medal awarding ceremony for parallel bars, artistic gymnastic, men.
It's time for the victory ceremony in the men's parallel bars competition here at Napoli 2019. The Pala Vesuvio in Ponticelli, Naples, is playing host to all of the gymnastics action at the 30th Summer Universiade. Well, there was a touch of drama after the competition had ended because an inquiry changed around the most crucial positions of all, gold and silver. It took time for the right decision to be reached, but in the judges' eyes, it was reached, and that's what really matters.
The mascots will be presented by Rosario Pitton, Vice President of the Italian Gymnastic Federation. Le medaglie saranno consegnate da Kemal Tamer, membro del comitato esecutivo della Federazione Internazionale di Sport Universitari, mentre la mascotte sarà consegnata dal vicepresidente della Federazione Ginnastica d'Italia, Rosario Pitton. Third place and bronze medalist, terzo posto e medaglia di bronzo, Ahmet Önder, Turkey.
Considering the injury that Ahmet Önder has been working through, he keeps winning medals, which is just remarkable. He's making the best out of a bad situation. He's had to change his training regime. He's had to refocus his attentions on certain apparatuses. And it's worked rather well, hasn't it? The bronze medal to Ahmet Önder.
Second place and the silver medalist, secondo posto e medaglia d'argento, Ivan Stritovic, Russia.
Ivan Stritovic of the Russian Federation thought for a while that he had actually taken the gold medal. His display of 14.8 was almost good enough, but after the inquiry, the difficulty score was put in, then the positions were reversed between first and second place. Stritovic nonetheless delivering an excellent
First
performance.
Place and gold medalist, primo posto e
Ivan
medaglia
Stritovic,
d'oro,
the silver medalist.
Kakeru Tanigawa, Japan.
Japan's Kakeru Tanigawa gets his gold medal. He came in as the top qualifier and delivered a really good display. His difficulty score upgraded his total score, going from 14.55 to 14.85, and meaning that he is the Universiade champion. The gold medal to Kakeru Tanigawa of Japan.
Ladies and gentlemen, International University Sports Federation and team.
The medalists in the men's parallel bars competition at Napoli 2019.
Medal awarding ceremony for apparatus finals floor women. Cerimonia di premiazione per la specialità corpo libero artistica femminile.
It's now time for the victory ceremony for the women's floor exercise as part of artistic gymnastics at Napoli 2019.
Sta per iniziare la consegna delle medaglie. The medals will be presented by Artur Mikevic, the Technical Delegate Artistic Gymnastics of International Gymnastic Federation. And the mascots will be presented by Rosario Pitton, Vice President of the Italian Gymnastic Federation. Le medaglie saranno consegnate da Artur Mikevic, delegato tecnico della Federazione Internazionale di Ginnastica, e dal vicepresidente della Federazione Ginnastica d'Italia, Rosario Pitton. Third place and bronze medalist, Uliana Perebinosova, Russia. Terzo posto, medaglia di bronzo per Uliana Perebinosova, Russia.
A fourth medal of these games for Uliana Perebinosova of the Russian Federation. 2 silvers and 2 bronze medals. Team competition silver, all-around silver. Balance beam bronze, and now a bronze in the final competition for her, the women's floor exercise. A very successful games indeed. The bronze medal to Uliana Perebinosova of the Russian Federation.
Silver medalist. Secondo posto, medaglia d'argento, Aiko Sugihara, Giappone, Japan.
Having been such an integral part of the Japanese team that won the gold medal at the start of the gymnastics program here in Napoli. Now Aiko Sugihara finishes with an individual medal. A stylish performance in the floor routine. Earned her a score of 13. The silver medal to Aiko Sugihara of Japan.
Gold medalist, primo posto e medaglia d'oro, Carlotta Ferlito, Italy.
It is unsurprisingly the loudest roar that we have heard in the Pala Vesuvio during the course of these games. It is for the home gymnast and Italy's lone gold medal of the artistic gymnastics program, and it's been won by Carlotta Ferlito. The gymnast who was involved in the opening ceremony has brought a great moment of joy to the crowd here at the Pala Vesuvio. The gold medal and the Universiade champion Carlotta Felito of Italy.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now please rise for the International University Sport Federation Anthem. Signori, per favore in piedi per l'inno della Federazione Internazionale Sport Universitario.
The emotion bubbling away beneath the surface for Carlotta Felito. And there they are, the medalists in the women's floor exercise as part of artistic gymnastics at Napoli 2019. Medal awarding ceremony for horizontal bar men. It's time for the victory ceremony for the men's horizontal bar competition at Napoli 2019.
We are now going to begin the awarding of the medals. Sta per iniziare la consegna delle medaglie. Le medaglie saranno consegnate. The medals will be presented by Tai Chen, Executive Committee Member of International University Sports Federation. And the mascots will be presented by Holger Albrecht, Technical Delegate, International University Sport Federation, Artistic Gymnastics. Third place and bronze medalist, Ivan Stritovic, Russia.
Another medal for Ivan Stritovic of the Russian Federation, who's had a highly successful Universiade. Very much an athlete known for his work on this apparatus. He increased his score from qualification by almost 4/10, and it was enough to earn him a place on the podium.
Second place and silver medalist, Secondo
bronze
posto
medal
medaglia
to Ivan
d'argento,
Sredovic of the Russian
Milad
Federation.
Karimi, Kazakhstan.
Milad Karimi of Kazakhstan has been working away just slightly below the surface, threatening to get onto a Universiade podium. And in his second appearance at these games, he's managed to do just that in the final event. Score of 14.675, the gymnast from Kazakhstan. The silver medal to Milad Karimi. Such a thrilling gymnast, such a thrilling performance. A score of 14.7 in this very close final, winning the gold by just shy of a 300th margin. That's how close it was. And that's why he is one of the best at doing this. Second gold of the artistic gymnastics program for Chinese Taipei. And another medal for Tang Xiaohong to add to his team silver. The Universiade champion, Tang Xiaohong of Chinese Taipei.
International University Sports Federation and Team. And now it's time for pictures. Diamo spazio.
The medalists in the men's horizontal bar competition at Napoli 2019. And so, as the medalists depart the podium, an opportunity to leave you with some of the finest moments of artistic gymnastics action here at the 30th Summer Universiade in the city of Naples.
30th Summer Universiade di Napoli 2019 would like to thank all volunteers for their time and dedication toward making this event such a success. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes
the artistic gymnastics program concludes with 7 gold medals to Japan, 2 to Chinese Taipei, and a gold medal to each of the Russian Federation, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Italy, and the Republic of Korea. A 3-day break for gymnastics now, but rhythmic gymnastics returns in the latter part of the Games. Until then, I've been Ollie Hogben. Goodbye, but not farewell.
Thank you very much.